Welcome back officially. Welcome back, friends and family, to the Daily Grind. We have been away for some time. It's been like 2 weeks because life has happened and stuff has happened. But we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for being back. Rusty, thank you for joining me. It's a Monday. We're not used to you being here. Like,
Yes, sir.
it's new. How are you, brother? How have you been?
Great, man. First of all, happy belated birthday, sir. I saw, thanks to shout out Facebook, saw over the weekend we had a birthday. So happy another trip around the sun.
Went to Chili's.
Dude, hard to beat Chili's, man. So funny story, in Starkville, Mississippi, when I was there at Mississippi State, there wasn't a lot of options back in the Stone Age. And my aunt had the Starkville Walmart as part of her routing that she did for her job.
Yeah.
And so the halfway point was Chili's in Starkville. Well, we went there every time she was in town just because it was easier for us to meet there. Well, she was convinced Chili's was like my favorite restaurant. And for years, for my birthday, I'd get a Chili's gift card from her for years.
That's so good. It's like, it's the most mediocre food ever. But I love every bit of it. You know, if it's your favorite restaurant, shout out.
Absolutely.
Dude, it's good to be back. It's good to be back to talk about Chili's and to talk about basketball, dude. Like we were talking before we hopped on here. It was some of the best hoops I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there were two games. I'm going to talk about the Sunday games first. These were the games that happened on Sunday. We had the Knicks-Pacers game.
Mm-hmm.
That was, you know, these are the Sunday scores. I really want to get into those. I think both you and I kind of thought that the Mavericks would beat OKC.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really see that one. You know, those two series were the Boston and the Boston Cleveland series, which the Cleveland team sounds like they're already blowing up, and the OKC Dallas series. I kind of knew what was going to happen with those. The game 7 yesterday, that was the hoops that I was excited for, man. What was your favorite game of the two? Did you watch both games?
So, I was keeping up with the Pacers Knicks. Last night, I was watching Game of Thrones and kind of keeping up with both that and then the T-Wolves Nuggets. But that Knicks game, it was unbelievable. To see a Pacers team to shoot that efficiently, I mean, that was unbelievable, man. And the Knicks kind of got a small taste of what the Grizz have been going through, you know, with Josh Hart getting hurt, Jalen Brunson getting hurt. It was just an ugly finish for them, but what a great basketball game. And then the nightcap, same. Like, how is it only like a 98-90 game when there was two different, like, 15-point leads? Like, these massive swings either way. Just wild basketball yesterday, and neither of them were how I saw them going.
Man, okay, so the first game I like, there were so many parts, like, when OG was out there and I was like, he just – played 5 minutes and they pulled him and we never saw him again. It was like, oh man, he's not going to do anything. When I don't know why Alex Burks didn't play earlier in this series. He's like a very competent basketball player, like who doesn't make a ton of mistakes. I don't know what he was doing. Hartenstein was clearly hurt today. I mean, he was almost a non-factor. And then Brunson breaks his hand. You know, it's just like that, you know, I don't want to just say, it's like you said, they got a taste of the Grizzlies, like what the Grizzlies have been dealing with. But at the same time, I don't want to take anything away from Indiana. But this Knicks team, like, everything that could have gone wrong for them did go wrong for them once the playoffs started happening. And that's just a bummer. Yeah. You know,
it felt
it
felt like a bottle rocket going off, right? Because they started out so hot and they were just on such an incline. And then we get to the series and pow, it all falls apart, right? Because OG got hurt. Josh Hart's had that stomach injury. Brunson getting hurt yesterday. Like, their three workhorses. DiVincenzo, to his credit, had 39 yesterday, just went nuts in doing the best he could to carry that team. But, I mean, they were struggling without, you know, their workhorses yesterday.
Well, and was DiVincenzo like the only one that didn't get hurt? I think he was the only one that, like,
of the starters, that was healthy. Yeah.
I mean, and it's just, there's guys on this bench. I mean, the Alex Burks one is the big one for me. You know, like Alex Burks could have got Josh Hart had been playing almost 50 minutes. Like that's crazy. You know, like Josh.
No wonder he got hurt.
Yes. And well, and then if Randall's playing, like if Mitchell Robinson's still playing, if Bogdanovich is still playing, you know, like this series probably goes a different way.
It's 405. It's 4041. I mean, it's not even close. But I mean, Wayno's right in the comments here. Like, you've got a bench, Tibbs. Like, you need to tap into that some. And that's been one of his biggest cruxes in the playoffs is he gets just honed in on like 6 guys and just runs them into the ground. And it bit him in this series because his guys weren't able to stay healthy and stay with it. Shocker. It happens every time Tibbs gets into the late playoff run. It happens.
Well, and it's when you're playing a team, it's gonna happen when this is your team. When you've got a fast-paced Pacers team who is well coached by Rick Carlisle, you know, like it's almost the worst. It's the worst case scenario for a Tibbs team.
Yeah.
You know, like this Rick Carlisle coach fast-paced team is not who Tibbs wants to see in the playoffs. You know, I think we were both guilty of. I love this Knicks teams. I would have loved to see them in the finals, but it just wasn't. It wasn't sustainable. Not playing these dudes as many minutes as they were.
Right. We got caught up in the hype a little bit. Both of us. I'll own that for me. Won't speak for you, but I'll own that. You know, and especially like what Indiana did yesterday was so methodical. Just the way they would run at you. They'd run fresh guys in, run at you, run fresh guys in. You know, McConnell off the bench was huge yesterday for him. Big in his 24 minutes. And then just watching that team kind of come together. And Carlisle's a perfect coach for him because it's a bunch of efficient scorers who's not super flashy. I mean, you got Halliburton, who's a star in this league, but then you just got like Siakam, who's quietly just getting buckets. You know, Naismith, Miles Turner had great series.
Nimhard.
I mean, there's zero chance they beat Boston, but they were efficient and did what they had to do yesterday to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. So shout out Rick Carlisle. Those teams are always well coached and just always in great shape, and they just run you out of the gym. And they have the stamina to get there because how about this? He uses his bench.
He uses his bench well. Like I mean, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm curious. I can look at them real quick. Oh God, it was bad. We got Alex Burks did 26. Precious Achua had 4. Miles McBride had 8.
Yeah.
Whereas they just had more guys. They just had more bodies. That's what it boils down to. Just more bodies because they played an appropriate amount. I mean, I don't know what else. Like they played an appropriate series. Whereas the game, you know, the game last night though, the God, I am so happy I'm not a fan of one of those teams because holy cow, that must have. I was getting emotional just like watching. Like watching that game because I looked at my phone. I would look at my phone. The updates on your phone, if you weren't watching this game, the phone updates probably gave you a damn heart attack because if you're watching the game, you get like, oh, Denver's up by 20. And then it's like, oh, never mind. And like the updates on my, I was like, do you see this? I was talking to Kyla. I was like, Kyla, do you see what's happening on my phone? Yeah. This is hard. This is really hard to watch. Let's just watch the game because man, what a game. Because and it wasn't an ant game. It wasn't an ant game. That's like, I just couldn't. In a game that saw the Nuggets up by 20 at one point and then Minnesota go on a 23 run. I mean, the Denver got nothing. They got literally nothing from anyone not named Jamal Murray and the Joker. Nobody. They got nothing. I just wasn't expecting that. Not in Denver and not in a game where Rudy Gobert fouls out and it's not an ant game. Yeah. I was just so impressed by the defensive effort from Minnesota in that game.
You know, in the NBA, coaches always get the blame. They don't get a ton of credit, but Chris Finch has done a masterful job in these playoffs of getting his team in the right position, you know, subbing out, scheming. Like what he has done has been a masterclass. I hope, you know, this is not knocking Taylor Jenkins, so don't hear what I'm not saying. I hope TJ's taking notes, just watching how to run rotations and to run guys in and out and get lineups that match up what you need because he's done a phenomenal job in this series, and he's a big reason why. Because like you said, Ant started off so slow last night. He didn't have a great game. I think he finished with what? He finished with 16 on 6 for 24 shooting. On 6 for 24 shooting. Not an efficient night at all, but then you get a big game out of Josh McDaniels and Cat. They stepped up in a big way. Watching Ant jaw with Charles Barkley on TV last night was fun. Like, you know, he told him, Charles said, I hadn't been to Minnesota in 20 years. And Ant said, bring your ass.
Bring your ass.
It's incredible, man. And like, and shout out Anthony Saint on our network. He's out there doing the Lord's work on Twitter. These guys are talking about, if Ant wins a ring, we need to have an uncomfortable conversation about John Moran and these other guys, right? Like, no, what Ant's doing is with a vet-led core team. We've got Mike Conley, Cat, Rudy Gobert. The Grizz don't have that. Like, we can appreciate what Ant is doing without disparaging others like Ja and some of these other cats that keep coming up in this conversation. But anyway, I'm going to digress on that. Props Minnesota, massive win for that team. And it sucks. Like, I'm happy for Mike and Slow-Mo and Ant, but it sucks because it's Cat and Rudy Gobert, right?
Yeah. Yep. It sucks too because this was a team that we beat in the playoffs 2 years ago. Like, yes. I don't know. It's just such a it's tough to see these guys succeed. That sounds rude, but like, this is a team that, like, constructed very similar. I mean, other than the massive Rudy Gobert team, there's a lot of guys on this team, a lot of similar blueprints, similar bones, I would say. Yeah. And so watching them succeed, and I mean, shoot, who they going to play in Dallas? That's going to be a good series.
It is. I mean, because Kyrie is playing some of the best ball he's played in a long time. Luka's the truth. Yeah. I mean, that Dallas team is scrappy. It's easy to say, and they're only playing. Yeah, they're only playing Dallas, right? Like, they got an easy cakewalk to the finals. I don't know that that's the case, man. That Dallas team is hungry. They're scrappy. They did, again, doing the Lord's work, beat OKC, sending those punks home, a great value Grizz home. But I think it's going to be a good series, man. I really think it's going to be a good series.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, I don't know if it'll go 7. That one might go. I hope we just get 7. I mean, good. Who knows what's going to happen on the other side of the bracket? Good God, I'm just mad. Anything else you want to say about the playoffs? Like, what are you most looking forward to as we go toward the conference finals?
I'm hoping that Indiana can give Boston a run for their money, because I think Boston's fake. They're a fake good team. Like, they're top heavy, but they're not fantastic. If they get Porzingis back and healthy, then that's a different story. But I hope that Indiana kind of expose them a little bit, and I hope we get 2 7-game series. It'd be fun to actually watch some more basketball and not 2 sweeps, and then we get to the finals. Like, I think it'll be 2 good series. I hope that Indiana can keep up with Boston and run them, but I think that Western Conference Finals will be a 6 7-game series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think either one of us is going to complain about more basketball. I mean, I don't know who is. The more basketball, the better. Gimme. We're going to take one more break, and I guess it's our first break. We're going to take our first break. When we get back, we're going to talk about, a little thing called the lottery, because that also happened since we were gone. And we're going to talk about the 9th pick, what the Grizzlies are going to do with it, keep it, trade it, pick it. I don't know. We're going to talk about that right after this break.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, but now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side. Yeah. His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward. Right. Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is with are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is, now when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, he's David Jones. Outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? He's facilitating the ball well. I mean, what do you, I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up. And then literally within the first 15 seconds, missed a wide open layup. And then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
I
think we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy, and we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. We're doing hip dancing. Welcome back to Daily Grind. All right, welcome back to the Daily Grind, and welcome back to Hip Dancing on this Monday. You can catch that show and all these other shows, summer season. Got new shows, got Night Court. Night Court's here. You can catch all that over at bluffcitymedia.co. But back to this show. Draft lottery happened while we were gone, and somehow it went worse for the Grizzlies than the odds said it was going to. Somehow, we ended up with the 9th pick. I think most odds had us getting the 8th. Maybe even the 7th. I saw. I think it was more. I think there was a higher chance of us moving up than moving down. Hawks moved up 10 picks. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing. Spurs have 2 picks in the top 10. I don't know. Picking 9th kind of makes me want to get that pick the hell out of here. I don't think any player is going to help us at 9. I really don't. I mean, I think all the good centers are going to be gone, and I don't know. I don't want to get another developmental wing. I just don't. I don't want to spend my pick on that. I think that we could easily trade that pick send that pick to Toronto, who doesn't have a pick because they lost it to the Spurs. They tanked and lost their pick. Send it to them so they can get a pick for Jakob Poeltl. Send it to Cleveland so you can get Jared Allen. I think that if it's me, I'm sending that pick somewhere else. I don't want it. I don't want it at 9. I really don't want it. Klingen's going to be gone. I don't want to just pick Zach Edey. That I just don't know. 9 is, to me, 9's, and I think someone there agrees, 9's the worst possible spot for me in my head. I just don't want it. I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, Shelby hears you in the other room, and she's agreeing wholeheartedly that the 9th pick sucks. I got the 9th pick. We picked our fantasy football league draft this year by the Kentucky Derby, and I also got the 9th pick. So it was just a bad weekend all around. You're right, man, but it's tough because, like, yeah, package it and send it, but like who else wants the 9th pick, right? I guess they need a
in this draft.
Wing. I mean, the 2 scenarios that I see that make the most sense. Number one, I like Jared Allen. I just don't know that he's the answer. There's some questions about his toughness, his willingness to play, and his buy-in and stuff. My boy just got paid. Now he's just coasting and sitting in his lazy boy, right? Package it and send it to Milwaukee, who also doesn't have any picks really, because for Brook Lopez, there's ways that you could do it to get a big like that's ready to play now. The only other option would be maybe a Dalton Connect, and then you trade up later and get a Zach Edey. But I really don't love Zach Edey's game. I don't see him fitting in Memphis very well. He's unathletic. We've already got Matthew Hurt, who's somewhat unathletic, big lanky white guy. We don't need another one. I don't know, man. I just don't. None of it really feels good because it doesn't feel like anybody's going to be jumping to send us Wendell Carter Jr. or insert whatever big here for that 9th pick in a draft that there's really not that 9 great players.
It's like the most uninspired pick in the most uninspired draft. I keep hearing there's a lot of good role players, and that's great. But we've done a good job of building our roster with role players. It's like the one thing we don't really need right now.
Maybe, Greer here in the comments saying falling back isn't a bad thing, saves money and someone will fall. Like Drew said the other day, Drew and I were talking off air about this. That's about a $3.5 million slot, somewhere right in there. It's not a super expensive slot. Maybe you do get a developmental guy there for cheap, but we don't need a developmental guy, right? We need somebody who can step in and play now. Like Greer said, maybe it is Klingen that falls. Maybe Klingen finds a way to fall because there's only really 2 teams you have to worry about needing a big, Atlanta and Washington. Atlanta's going Sarr first overall. Klingen, is he really going to go second overall? But then you got Portland's got bigs. All these teams have already got some bigs that they don't really need that kind of player. So maybe he's the one that falls to us at 9. I mean, if so, then when that clock hits, within 2 seconds, the pick is in, right? Donovan Klingen's gone. Yes. He's a Grizz. I just don't know that we'll get that lucky based on the performance of the lottery because we had a terrible team and we weren't rewarded for it, right? Conspiracy theorists, maybe they're rewarding Wemby and Trae Young to keep him in Atlanta and not us. But whatever it was, Adam Silver, basketball gods, you did us dirty.
They did do us dirty. And it's obviously if Klingen is there at 9, that's who you're taking if he's there at 9. I mean, I think the odds of him being there are just slim. I like Dalton Connect a lot. Too. I would be, and he fits the bill of a guy that's older that is ready to start. I just can shoot the hell out of the ball. I just don't. I don't know if I've got blinders on, and I know we need a big like it. That's what I'm not worried about secondary scoring right now. With Gigi and with a healthy team, that's not something that I'm worried about. But I'm worried about center on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, our bench is deep enough. We're gonna get points off the bench. We don't need another developmental guy. We've got those, right? Like if we hang on to Laravia, there's developmental guy, but then you've got points coming off the bench from Gigi, Vince, BC, Luke. Like you got these guys that are gonna be scoring off the bench. You what are you gonna do? Draft over 9th overall and send him to the G League, right? Like we need to go. Why don't we package that and go get a guy who's ready to play now that fits the need that we have? I'm sitting here. It's wild that we're sitting here 2-3 years removed where it's like, we've got plenty of wing scoring and plenty of guard scoring. We would have killed for this like 3 years ago, right? But we just need a big who can play now. We don't need a superstar, right? We just need somebody who can get us pick and rolls, rebounds, and just be a big body for other big bodies when we play them. That's all we really need.
Well, you look, the defending champs just got beat by a team that used 3 centers. Like 3 centers regularly to beat them. We have 0 on the roster. I think that's, and the team that the same guy built both those teams. So he knows what he's doing. Yeah, exactly. The guy that built the Nuggets to win a championship, then built the team to beat the Nuggets to win a championship. And that team has 3 bigs.
Yeah, I mean, it's like 1995 called and they want their centers back, right? Because it's harking back to the 90s of basketball, right? When we had these big centers that ran teams. Like, it's fun to watch the Steph Currys and these guys fill it up. But here we are, May basketball, and what teams are advancing are the teams with bigs.
And multiple bigs. Daniel Gafford, Lively, Reed, Gobert, Towns. Those are your West guys. Boston is hurting because they don't have a – people are saying they might not win the series because they don't have a big. And then you've got Miles Turner, who's having a postseason of his life. You have Siakam, who's big. It's just it's these front courts are good. I mean, they're good.
It was in the comments a little bit ago. I know we don't have the cap space or the money because Hartenstein's gonna get paid, and the Knicks may not can pay him because of all the money they got to move around. But good God, would he look good in Memphis?
Yeah, man, I think I wrote an article. It's like one of the first articles I ever wrote when I started covering the team was like, why Hartenstein would look good in Memphis. And it's just, I've wanted him here so badly. And it's just,
he fits.
He fits. Maybe he played. Well, I know it was because of injury. Maybe his stock will go down after his performance yesterday. And it's not going to.
No, he's going to get paid, and we're not going to be the ones that pay him, unfortunately. But there's, a blue collar big is what we need. Exactly right, Wayno. Blue collar big who can get boards and get those little bunnies. We had one. And Steven Adams, we just need
had a real good one.
Need another one of those.
We just need a Steven Adams type and we'll be fine. After this break, we're going to take one more break and then we're going to come back because Mondays are for lasagna. I'm excited to talk about this. We're going to take one more break.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man. Yeah, you got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes.
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act. Okay. Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. It's called what it is. It's called a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coach.
Uh-oh.
There we go. We're back.
There it is.
I just wanted you to see Brevin a lot. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. It is Monday. We are back, and Mondays are for lasagna. You're normally here on Tuesdays, so you're not normally here on Mondays. So, Garfield the cat, as you can see, he loves lasagna. He hates Mondays, as most people do. He's also got a new movie coming out, which I have thoughts on. We can talk about that later. So on Mondays, we like to talk about our favorite thing and our least favorite thing from the weekends. I will go first. My lasagna. My birthday was yesterday, turned 34. Went to Chili's, went on a hike, watched basketball, went to the Renaissance Fair. It was pirate weekend. I didn't spend any money, just dressed like a pirate and walked around. It was dope. But it was just fun. Mondays, what was the Monday? Oh yeah, I guess the Monday is I was 34. It's old. I just feel so old. Yeah. It was like the end of that Denver game happened last night. And it was like 10 o'clock and I was like, all right, okay, time for bed. Time to go to bed. And I went to bed. Then I went to bed. So yeah, I guess my Monday is getting old. How about you? How was your weekend? What'd you do?
Weekend was good. I went and saw family this weekend. So I guess my lasagna would be just family time, man. Just spending time. Saw Mag's son Friday night. And then, Saturday drove over and spent time with some adopted family in the Gann household. Uncle Bucks. Spent Saturday morning with them for some breakfast time, just hanging out. And then so went and saw my family, my actual blood family, Saturday night, Sunday, yesterday. It was great weekend. Just all around, like a lot of lasagnas in there. Watching Game of Thrones with Maggie last night, and we're progressing. We're through season 1, start of season 2, and I'm hooked, man. I can't believe I didn't watch this show any sooner. It's incredible.
Yes.
And then I guess my Monday, like as beautiful as the weather was this weekend, I'm a big guy in the South, and I'm not ready to sweat for the next 3 months. Like it's just coming. When you're big and it's hot outside, like it just is what it is. And it like I got my countdown over here ready, like counting down the months until it gets cool again, because it's going to be a hot summer. I'm glad to be back in Memphis, but I'm not prepared to be back in Memphis for the heat wave that's coming.
Man, I was talking to facial hair in the South too. In the summer is the absolute worst.
Yep.
Like there's nothing worse than constant sweat, like on your upper lip. You're just like dripping down, and you're just like, stop it. And the chin strap has not been popular since what?
Never.
Never. Maybe the 1850s during the Civil War. I know a lot of Civil War generals that could rock it, but they were on the field of battle. They didn't need upper lip sweat.
Outside of like an Amish community where your name's like Jedediah or Zebaniah or something, like you don't need just the chin strap. You have to have something else here. And then like, I mean, it's just so bad. Like I ain't even hot yet, but like talking about going outside, like I'll start sweating. You're like, all right, it's time to go to work. And it's just like instant perspiration. So it's going to be a hot few months.
It's like swimming outside. It's so thick. You're just
That's it. Open the door. You have to cut the air to get out to your truck, right? So that you can leave. It's awful.
I hope, I hope it's not going to change for how long is it going to be like this? October?
Yeah. Early November.
You ruined it. You ruined it. That's gonna do it for today. We're gonna leave you on a Tennessee summer note. Hot, humid, and hopefully fun at least.
Yeah.
Oh, but there'll be cicadas.
Oh, it's the year of the cicadas, the song of our people. You know you're in the South when you go outside and they're chirping away.
I'm gonna find a cicada soundtrack, and that's just gonna be what I leave
God.
everybody on, just like screeching. Thank you for tuning into the Daily Grind. I will see everybody tomorrow. Thank you, Rusty Musty. Go see Jess Benson's show. She's on right after me. Go see it. Go check out. Swing on over. Say hi to her. I will see everybody tomorrow, y'all. Thank you for bearing with me while I was gone. Everybody, be good, and remember, be weird, be a little weird, and remember to smile.